Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. The dynamic duo in the building.
Yes,
The
indeed.
dynamic duo in the building. I know y'all was expecting 6, but sometimes life's. And so you
Yes,
get 2.
indeed,
Sometimes
indeed.
life's and you get 2. But we still gonna bring the same energy, bring that same content. Instead of it being 6 perspectives, it's gonna be 2. And we
There you
may
go.
have some guys that come in on the back end, but if not, it is what it is. First off, shout out to Hendo and B. Get well soon. B coming off his trip. Hendo feeling a little under the weather. And as far as Chris and Mike, lifing. Mike go get that dub.
That's
And
right.
Chris will fall in here eventually. He got to do what he had to do for doing what he had to do.
I love that.
Get this thing started. Get this thing started like we normally do. Hey, we got a dub.
We got it.
A dub. We got a dub.
it. Yes, yes.
Wasn't pretty, but we got it.
I'll take it.
But we got it.
I'll take it. Look, and listen, if you don't know by now, okay, that's a shot glass from our meet and greet. Very fun meet and greet. All right. You can if you want one of these, hit up Coach. All right. Or any of us, really. Hit up any of us. This right here, this is the chalice. Okay. If you want one of these, you definitely need to hit up Coach. All right. There's only one way to get those. That's
Patreon.com/sip-the-tally. Gunslinger membership. Gunslinger membership. We get you one of these probably within 2 to 3 weeks. I got a little box sitting there, so I ain't got to wait for them to come in. I got a box sitting right to my right. You join that Patreon and be a Gunslinger member. We'll get that out to you almost ASAP. Almost ASAP. Keyword almost ASAP.
almost. ASAP like.
Right. ASAP Coach, not ASAP Rocky.
T-Dog says, Jose, were you ever in sales? I was. I did B2B sales for a short stint, going into businesses and trying to sell what was I selling them? I was selling them like T-Mobile accounts, business accounts to employees. So yeah, I did a little bit of that. I've done a lot.
I was gonna say, that's gonna segue into a question that has nothing to do with the Ravens. What if you can speak on it, and don't speak about your dancing days, Chris. So if this applies to your stripper days, don't answer. What's the craziest job you done
had? Legal or illegal?
Legal.
What you can talk about?
I would say security. I did security one night at a place, some like little hole in the wall garbage place. It lasted one night. The dude tried to shortchange me on some money that he said he was gonna pay me. And I told him I was gonna destroy the bar if he didn't pay me.
Boy, I did that one night, and I did a bunch of nights for a friend of mine. And this young lady came in there, and this is what I said. Now y'all gotta bear with me, because it was before smoking was kind of like pretty much banned everywhere, and so they could smoke in the place. I was kind of like the door man at. So this young lady come up there with a little old pot belly. I was like talking to him like, why you really want to go in here and you pregnant like that? And she was like, yeah, I'm still going here, and FYI, I ain't pregnant. I was like, oh my goodness.
Whoops.
I was hurt. I felt bad for her. I felt so bad. I paid her and the crew way in. I think like 6 of them. I ain't want to come back and say nothing to me, so I paid all that way in to get them in that night. But the crazy job I never had, I used to sell proactive. So like, the infomercial that used to come on in the middle of the night. I used to be one of the people on the other end of that when I was in college.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay.
What about you, Jose?
Man, that's tough. I've worked a lot of jobs, and OTR Mike can attest to that. Okay, fun fact. I actually went to culinary school right out of college. I was a chef for a little bit, a short stint. I worked at this restaurant out here called La Madeleine. It's a French restaurant, and they just weren't paying me enough to my liking, And then I got a job at this place called Copeland's.
Know about Copeland's?
Yeah. And then it was paying well, but the job was it was just long hours. I come home smelling like food. I wouldn't get home till like 2:00 in the morning, and I was like, I need to do something else. And my parents like, yo, we ain't paying for you to go back to college. but Uncle Samuel, right? I come from a military family, so they wanted me to join the military, so that's what I did. Joined the military and did something completely different. Became a intelligence analyst.
Got you. And I didn't even pick this up at first. Tylan Wallace Sr. I didn't even pick that up at
first. Proud father.
Yes, sir.
Your son did the damn thing. That's all.
Did we all in unison think of Chris when that happened? Because that's the first.
I tweeted him.
I tweeted him. My phone was blowing up.
In the middle of the stream, when he scored, the first thing I did, I didn't even really celebrate good. I picked my phone up and tweeted, or I opened another screen up and tweeted Chris.
I think you might have been the first one too. I think you might have been the first one, and Garnett called me like 0.2 seconds after it happened. I was like, man, I can't talk right now. I just got to bask in this glory.
Listen. This is a type of fun I was hoping we would have with James Prochet until it got toxic.
What?
Okay. This is what I thought was going to happen. Those guys, okay, they don't have a long shot, but or a good shot, but they make plays like this, and you can feel good about it. You can feel great about it. Like, I mean, I'm ecstatic for Tylan Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
This is what makes these moments so great.
They ready, so he had to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they just pulled dude. I ain't know. Somebody told me in the stream that he had hurt his back. I thought they had just finally got tired of seeing lackluster punt returns and just pulled him.
Oh, Duvernay?
Yeah. They said it's something wrong with his back because I watch it with the sound off, so they say something wrong with his back. But I think he might have lost the job.
Wow.
I mean, he hasn't looked the same.
If he didn't, he should lose it.
I think he's going to lose it off the fact that it's time for him to get paid, and they're not going to want to pay him. I think he's a good returner. He's a very good returner. I think there's some value in that, but if Tylan Wallace can do that,
right?
You know what I'm saying? They don't need to pay him
because he did something on that punt return that dude, even though dude was a Pro Bowl or All Pro punt return, Tylan Wallace did something that dude would never do, and he made somebody miss.
Yeah.
Dude had straight line speed when he went all pro and would outrun people, and it was blocked up right.
Yeah.
Tylan Wallace made some guys miss. Well, made a guy miss, and the blocking was pretty damn good too. I don't care what they say about Charlie Kolar.
Yeah. I agree.
So special teams pretty much won the game, but let's start with our version of Shaqtin' the Fool and get this on out the way. But we're gonna call this part of the show Coaching a Fool. So that was a red flag. Just came out of my screen. I could have sworn Captain America. It felt like a hammer going across the screen, and it was thrown on a touchdown. Well, after a touchdown, and so all touchdown plays are reviewed. Everybody know that, right?
Yes.
So
yep. Well, almost everybody.
Yeah. Almost.
So the flag was thrown, and it's a lot of times people cover their mouth up, like when they talking to the refs, they'll do this number right here or pull one of these. Well, this didn't happen, and he said, and I'm paraphrasing right now, but I did read his lips when he said it. He think he stepped out. We challenging him stepping out of the end zone, and when they showed that replay, and that man was he was 8 feet from the out of bounds line. He stepped on the word Ravens, I think.
Yes.
I about fell out my chair.
I don't know what's worse, man. Like that part of it, or his reasoning after the game, talking about it was a strategy to buy more time to set up the defense for the 2-point conversion. Listen, man, you just call timeout. You let them line up. You call timeout, right? And then you know what they're gonna be in. He just acted emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all it is. Like, yes, coaches do use a red flag sometimes to buy some time. Like, okay, I want to call timeout here, but let me just throw the red flag just in case they see something that might overturn it. But I mean to call timeout. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the red flag. All right, fine. But you throw a red flag there to buy time. All you have to do is call timeout. They're already reviewing it. Okay, so if you need time to set up your defense, wait, do what every other coach does. Wait until they line up and about to hike the ball. call your timeout. Easy.
Exactly. That simple. That simple. Chris, your thoughts on
it? The excuse at the end of the game, like, come on, you trying to fool? Like,
it?
I know there's some people that's like, oh yeah, that's real smart, but it's like, nah, that's not what he was thinking. Like, you could love him all you want, but that's not what he was thinking. And like Coach said, you could read his lips clearly. He thought he went out of bounds.
Yep, he sure did.
Just it just pisses me off, like just trying to be right all the time, or just trying to look like you're right all the time. Like there's no need for it.
Bro, I guarantee you he'd have got so much respect if he came in a press conference and say, hey, I fucked up.
Right.
Yeah. We know you do. Listen, we've known Harbaugh long enough. We know that's what it was, right? Because what happened? You went on by, you came out sloppy like you always do, because it's a team that's not perceived to be that good of a team, right? And we are never prepared for these type of teams, right? Sometimes we grind it out and win like we did yesterday, but they always look like this. They always look like this. I mean, the Chargers, another team that's another team I was worried about. Hey, they're a talented team. They're not winning right now, but we look sloppy. Defense won that game. This game, defense almost lost it for us. But it's these type of games that we're never ready for. Now watch next week. I bet you next week we win by double digit.
It'll be amped up.
Mm-hmm.
Be amped up. And that's the reason why I'm not a fan of us getting the one. I don't want us to lose.
I'm with you, Coach.
I don't necessarily want us to have the one either. I'm kind of in that gray area. I don't want us to lose none of these games coming up.
No more PTO.
I don't necessarily want us to have that bye either.
Some employees you can't give that much time off to.
Right. Because they need 2 weeks to recover. And sometimes you got 2 weeks to recover.
and they were actually saying during the broadcast that some players, they were kind of mad about the bye coming up because they felt like they were in a groove. And that bye kind of like messed up that groove that they were in. So hopefully they can get back on track in these next few games and roll into the playoffs with that momentum that you need.
Right. That now we'll go ahead and start with the defense. I'm gonna throw this up here. Defensively, we'll start with the DBs. I felt like DB wise, let me move my thing because I can't see it. Let me move my brand a little thingy. 1 second. All right, there we go. I think they was okay with the exception of 44. But what's this? Score wise, let's see who we got. Marcus with a 69, Brandon Stevens with a 64, Kyle Hamilton with a 60, Worley with a 60, Marlette with a 51, Hump with a 48, which is about right. Geno Stone 46. And they were okay. They weren't great. That the Puka Nacua got his, like the catch Puka made, Brandon Stevens was all over that.
Yeah.
That just was a hell of a throw and a hell of a catch by Puka. And then DeMarcus Robinson was having his way with Marlon. And then that drive at the end was just the Marlowe F-up drive. So my issue was really just with Marlon. Like, I understand it's hard to play DB and like the conditions and you can slip and whatnot. And that's fine. You got to have this forget about it mentality. But when they throw you the ball directly to you, you got to catch that joint. You got to catch it.
Yeah. Especially when you get beat on the play before. Listen, man. Cooper Cup, Puka Nacua.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say it right? Puka Nacua?
Yeah, Nacua.
Yeah. Listen, these are some of the better wide receivers in the league. And it doesn't matter how good your defense is, they're going to get there. So this is a perfect example of that, right? Kyron Williams, look, when you have players, when you have players, man, like they're going to get theirs. So, that's not a shock. So, all things considered, they did okay. Obviously you can't say they played great. They got some of the yards that they got were just miscommunication, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is something, you're not used to seeing from this defense at all. So you had to give them a lower grade just off of that, because that's where their strength is. It's not necessarily their ability. They had the ability, but just knowing where to be on the field. I think Sean McVay did some things to confuse them for sure.
And it looked a little different when you took 14 off the field.
Not a little.
A lot. Listen, I know it was like it might seem like a small thing. To me, it was a big deal. I think it was after he got hurt the first time. He came back in the game, and we had already given up a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But it was on it wasn't even a third down play. It was to get us into third down. They threw it out to Puka Nacua, and he came down and just crushed him. And I was like, we needed that. They needed to set the tone, because in the next play we got them off the field. Like, we needed somebody to come down there and just let them know, like, nah, if you're gonna touch that ball, we're gonna put our helmet on you.
Yeah, and the defense played okay in spurts. They had a like the middle of the game to like the middle of the second quarter, to almost the fourth quarter. They pretty much shut down everything they did, but they gave up early all them runs at the beginning of the game, because 8 straight runs when they was gashing us to start the game with, and then Kyron, got runs throughout the thing. Then Puka, like, the play action was so good that Puka was running wide open a bunch of times, and then Cooper, you can't really, nobody gonna stop Cooper when he healthy. You're not gonna stop it. Like you said, they got 3 legit guys.
Especially when you jogging across the formation like Marlette was. Like, he like time after time, he's just jogging across the formation. Like, no, you got to run. Like, you got to run your ass off. And
he was sprinting. You see him sprinting. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, and it's like after the third time, it's like, all right, you might just be in the special class, because if it keeps happening to you, keep doing the same thing. Like, come on, you got to make a change here. So that was a disappointing game for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the one play that Cooper got down the sidelines, he was coming across the formation. They faked the handoff. Marlette stopped like he was in the run fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just let him go.
It's just right.
Let him go. Yeah. Yeah.
So, like you said, it looked like a lot of miscommunication. So hopefully they get that cleaned up. But again, they look totally different when 14 wasn't out there. So
I'm glad this happened this game, because I think we're going to see a lot of similar things when we play the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
They have a similar makeup. They have 2 really good wide receivers. They have arguably the best running back in the game. They can do a lot of things that the Rams are doing out there. If we are playing to our assignments, we won't look as bad.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. The chef said he took his cousin to the first Ravens game to celebrate his 10th birthday. Hey, you're a great cousin.
That's a good one.
You're a great cousin.
Salute.
Great cousin. Blackwood says, hey, I saw a view. I don't know what I was watching, but a lot of those upper bowl seats, them joints was naked, boy. The bottom bowl was full, but them upper bowl seats where I normally sit, where I can afford, them joints was naked.
Wasn't great weather.
Yeah. And I saw I think I saw Sutton talk about it. I think Sutton went to the game from the Purple Rain podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that it was like a light drizzle most of the time, even when it was raining. It never really like opened up till right toward the end, and it only lasted for like 5 minutes. So it was in the weather, but it wasn't like a constant downpour like it was looking at some point on the TV. On the TV, it looked like it was getting down.
But there's flood warnings over here, so people were expecting it, and it got a lot worse after the game.
Okay, so that's glad they stayed safe rather than go to the game.
Right.
But let's slide on down to the linebackers, unless y'all got in another point about the DBs.
One thing about Marlowe, he had a terrible game, and I tweeted it out. He was sorry for robbing that magical comeback that Lamar had. But this is his first game back from injury, so this is his first game back in a few weeks. And he's been dealing with injuries all year long. So, I'm not trying to close the book on him. People saying bench him and all of that stuff. Let him work through this.
Don't bench him.
He did. When he gets right, he's going to be right. Yeah. And he just needs that in-game action. It's been a rough season for him. Just battling with these injuries. So. Just let him get right, and then hopefully by the postseason he'll be the regular Marlowe that we know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's gonna be an excuse. Nobody can cover Tyreek Hill. Nobody.
The only way you can stop him is what they just did to him. They hurt him.
Yeah,
that's the only way you can stop him. And I don't know if he came back in the game, but I was in the living room before I came in here, and they like hip tackled him and like pulled him down from the back. and that's the only way you can stop him. He gonna get his regardless. He one of the fastest dudes in the league. He got one of the best set of hands. He got an extremely accurate QB, and they have a great freaking system.
Yeah, there isn't a corner that you can pick up that can shut him down.
Yeah, just got to contain him and don't let him go for 300. Everybody else, you got to shut them down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Linebackers. Really ain't got two. Roquan had a 55.5, and oh Lord, what Queen at? What number?
Queen is up there.
Queen number 3. Okay. Yeah. Queen number 3, 74.8. Now, I think Roquan had 10 tackles. I'm not sure how many Queen had, but they were out there delivering blows.
Queen
they weren't making all the plays, but them jokers was delivering blows. Like Roquan is like he the Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the field. He's trying to cut everybody's head off.
Yeah. That's what we need when you're playing these high power offenses. When you have players out there that can score, we need our defense to get physical, to let them know, like, hey, when you touch this ball, like it's gonna be a long day for you, and see how they hold up mentally, right? Because when you have guys that are that talented, man, it's hard to cover them. And the way to take them out the game is to make it a physical game. Now, Roquan, I saw one play, man. He tried to rip that guy's head off.
Right.
Like, okay, not that physical, but we need somebody out there to set that tone. And I'm glad, like, it's a great duo because Roquan sets that tone, and Patrick Queen immediately picks up on it, and he follows that lead, and they're always right here with it. Yep, dynamic duo.
That's one reason why I say make sure you find a way to keep him, because what him and Roquan do together, I think you can. We'll talk about that another day. That'll be open up a whole nother Pandora's box. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, man. They were just setting the tone. All right, like, you want to come across that middle, you want to try to run up this gap. We're gonna make sure you feel it. And that's exactly what you want from your linebackers. They might have got a 6-yard gain, but that 6-yard gain hurt at the end of that run.
Yep.
Right.
And that's exactly what you want, because that'll be in their mind. And if you look at towards the end of the game where the tight end dropped the ball, and then you have Puka, he's trying to catch the ball and looking away, and he ends up dropping it. Yep. That's that physicality we're talking about.
Exactly. And that's probably a direct reflection on that hit you was talking about, Jose, from Hamilton.
Yes. Yep.
Puka definitely, hands were here, eyes were over to the right or left, whatever. Was not look. He was trying to find the feet. He heard feet, and he was trying to figure out where they was coming from. And then on that play you were speaking of, Chris, and we'll get down to D-line in a minute. But did you see the move Van Orr put on the guard on that play? The one the tight end dropped.
No, I didn't see it.
The spin move. He put that man in spin-a-rooney.
Yeah.
What they did was, for some reason, and I laughed, and the only reason I know it because they put Michael Pierce at end. They had Van Noy over the guard. Ball was snapped. He hit the guard with a spin move and was right in what's the quarterback name? Stafford's face almost instantly. Instantly. I'm gonna have to go find him when I look at the defensive side.
He had one of those tone setting hits too.
Yes.
Sure did. On the little screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Going down to the D line. Let's see what we got. Van Noy, matter of fact, I ain't even realize he was the top one up there. 80.5. Matabike, 76 even. Who else we got? Travis Jones, 70. Travis got another sack. That's his second, technically his second sack. He got 1.5. Matabike got another sack too. That puts him at 11. Those are the only two we got. Owe, 65.5. Urban, 61.6. Pierce 56.2, and Clowney 51.2. Clowney had a quiet day.
Mm-hmm. He did.
And Robinson 48.8, and Broderick Washington 41.6. And Broderick Washington have a quiet year.
Yeah, after getting paid.
Right. After getting paid, exactly. So we've accustomed to getting 4 to 5 sacks a game, and We didn't this game, but I will say this, and somebody mentioned it during the watch party that Stafford was letting that thing go. He wasn't holding on to that ball. So the opportunities to get sacks weren't really there. He was hike, get it out of here. But the good thing is Puka and Cup and whoever he was throwing today was getting open early.
Yeah, but when you get those type of players, you can do that. And also they set it up well with the run early on, because they know that's our one weakness. And you know what? I'm not even going to I'm not going to harp on it that much. You know, we're not that great. Salute.
No, Nate. Appreciate you, Margo.
Run defense needs to tighten up quick, otherwise in 2 weeks, Blue Eyes White Dragon is going to kill us on the ground.
he talk about McCaffrey. He talking about Christian McCaffrey. Appreciate him, Marco.
Listen, in today's NFL, even the running teams want to pass the ball, except the Ravens. Teams want to pass the ball, and the Rams showed you. If you didn't know, if you didn't know, this game showed you, as well as they're running the ball in that first drive. Why they decided when they got down to the 5-yard line to throw it 3 times is beyond me. Well, maybe it wasn't the 5-10 or whatever they were at, but they were
close enough.
It was first and goal, and I'm like, well, 2 more handoffs to Kyron Williams, and that's a touchdown. And they didn't run the ball. They just, because teams want to throw the ball. No matter how much they run it, in between the 20s, they want to throw the ball. So that bend don't break. You look, even for Christian McCaffrey, yeah, go ahead and run it. But it's in everybody's DNA to want to throw the ball when they get down there.
Yep, and thank God they did.
Yeah,
yes, you did, Brent. we may revisit it, but yes, you did.
Yeah, but yeah, with the D line, yeah, that's that's the only real criticism I had. Other than as a unit is try to do better showing up the run, but they are what they are at this point. I think.
Yeah, like for this section, I kind of want to give credit to Matt Stafford because, like, to me, he had a phenomenal game yesterday. Like, even with all those drops, because there were a bunch of drops on his side, and I like while I'm watching the game, I'm like, damn, man, D-line is not really getting after it, like like we're accustomed to seeing this year. But then you realize you're like, anytime they get close, this dude is getting rid of the ball.
Yep,
like he was pressing the right button every single time. And sometimes you got to tip your cap, and that's what Brady would do to us back in the day. When we had Suggs, when we had Haloti, they weren't touching him because he was getting rid of the ball so fast. And we kind of saw that yesterday. But I thought they did well, as far as just being disruptive, and although he was getting rid of the ball quickly, I did see them win, quite a bit, and able to get pressure on him.
That's what I was wondering what the pressure numbers were like.
And also with the run game, like, it was bothering me because we're not used to the Ravens being able to just be gashed on the ground. But if that's what you're gonna do, if you're gonna get beat, little by little down the field, and then able to hold teams to field goals, in today's NFL, I'll take that.
Yep,
I will take that any day over the wink, deep bombs and miscommunications and big time plays. I will take that. And especially because for years we've talked about, all right, we got to move on from these interior guys like Brandon Williams, who, their main priority is to stop the run. Now we're getting pressure on the quarterback. Now we're getting sacks. So you kind of got to give a little bit when it comes to that run game in order to make more of an impact when it comes to the sacks. So I'll take that exchange.
It's they get that philosophy of give and take.
Yeah.
If that's what you're gonna give up, because a lot of times we do. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot. Lately, we've been getting gashed on the right side versus the run, but we've also forced a lot of field goals in the red zone. We forced a lot of field goals and keeping guys to 3. And like I was watching something about the Rams earlier today while I was doing a little work, and they were just talking about how when you play good teams, you got to score touchdowns. And their Achilles heel, they was kicking field goals, and Ravens got touchdowns. And how many times is that us saying that?
Right.
Yeah. Good point.
But I'm good with what the defensive line has given us this season. It's just a game where and they do a good job of using Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp in the run game too. They little fold stuff they be doing, then they be doing cut blocks with the wide receivers. Their two wide receivers, they block well in the run game. Like Puka will sit out a line up in a wing right outside the tight end, ball snap, tight end will kick out. He'll fold right on the tight end and go straight to the safety. And then here come Kyron right off that block. And if that's cornerback trying to tackle Kyron, that's probably your worst tackler.
Yeah.
So that's scheme.
Well executed.
Yes. Because everything from the guard in is blocked down. The tight end kicks out. Here come Kyron Williams one-on-one with the corner, and you'll take your running back on the corner for the most part. Because the corner is normally your worst tackler normally. Any wrap up like overall wrap up for the defense?
Off day, I expect them to play better. I'm not worried about it. I'm glad that the offense was able to put up enough. Like that's what we needed. That's always been a thing that's I believe held us back in the past is we didn't have enough on the offensive side when the defense didn't play well for us to respond. But I think they showed us that they do. I mean, we'll talk about the offense in a second, but I'm not worried about the defense at all.
And they were due for an off day because they've been carrying us.
Yeah,
they have been carrying us, and like when we had the watch party last time when Christian was on, we kept waiting on them to fold versus was the Chargers.
The Chargers.
And they never did.
They didn't.
They never did. They do to have. You don't want them to have an off day, but I'd rather now than December or January. But
this is a coach that knows our defensive coordinators' tendencies.
I was just gonna say I think this game will make Mike better.
Yeah,
it'll make Mike better. Now I don't know if we're gonna insert a third linebacker to stop people, from running the ball, which would hurt us in the pass game, or we just gonna stick to that nickel package. I guess it kind of depends on where Kyle is and whatnot. But not having Malik hurt too, because Malik is probably one of our better edge guys versus the run. And there were a couple of times Calvin Norwood would like stick his nose inside and they bounce that thing right outside.
Yeah.
But Malik sets the edge, and he didn't play this week. So I think Malik's a good first, second down guy, especially in run situations. Probably our best one. If you put him in Oway and then on first downs, you got your two best run stuff and edges out there. But Malik just can't rush the passer, so he got to come out on pass downs unless you're gonna drop it or play games with it.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's flip to the offensive side. Let's start with the O-line. Morgan Moses, 83. Ronnie Stanley, 75. Kevin Zeitler, 67. Tyler Linderbaum, 62. Makari, 61. Simpson, 60. And Falele, 51. And that's all of them. I just know my heart stopped when I saw 77 in the game.
I think overall they did solid, man. I know Stanley didn't give up a sack. I think they said they didn't give up one pressure, but they rotated him in, which is what they should have been doing the whole time. He's not healthy, right? Have him on snap count. That Linderbaum missed snap, man, that almost cost us the game.
Sure did.
Very disappointing Linderbaum. For as well as he played in his rookie year, he hasn't had a bad year, but we expected a little bit better, right? But that was disappointing.
I think like when I first saw him in there, and I couldn't fathom why they were going in and out. And so when I was thinking about it today doing a recap, I was like, well, maybe they're trying to save, got the other guys on the snap count. And then shortly after I produced the video, John came out and said that they were rotating them out, trying to keep them fresh for the fourth quarter. I was thinking, man, that one play I did put on Twitter with Falele whiffed on Aaron Donald, and it was Aaron Donald and Lamar looking eye to eye. I was like, man, bro, no.
And Falele looking around like, I don't know. You got somebody to block? I don't know.
Falele out there doing a dancing bear. Aaron Donald chasing Lamar.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was impressed with their pass pro.
Yeah.
They were decent in pass pro yesterday, including Simpson. And I ain't looked at it like the whole game yet, but I think I'm about middle way or almost to the end of the halftime. I ain't got as much as I have all these Simpson jokes. I ain't got them this week so far. They did a decent job of mainly keeping an eye on 99 and then handling the other guys for the most part. There were a lot of times Lamar was in that pocket and he had a bunch of time to throw. Now there were some times when he got pressure and he was able to maneuver the pocket without leaving the pocket, which really impressed me. But I ain't really got much bad to say about what the O-line did Sunday.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the all 22 yet, but I can't wait to watch it because just from the live broadcast, I thought they played well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, obviously they gave up some pressures, but I mean, the NFL, that's going to happen. And when you place in a team that got Aaron Donald and one of the best rookie pass rushers in the NFL right now with Byron Young,
mm-hmm.
you know, those things are going to happen. But I thought they played well. I thought that rotating the tackles, I'd never seen that in my life. Like I've seen it once, like where you do, you know, you have a rotation at right tackle, but I've never seen both tackles be interchanged like that. And that was interesting to see. But it looked like it worked. I mean, shoot, if I was talking to Mike Crawford today, and he was like, it seems like a load management thing, like the NBA has.
Mm-hmm.
And
it makes sense for Ronnie, definitely.
Yeah, if that's what you got to do, and you know, Morgan Moses, he had that shoulder injury that kept him out of game. So you know, if those guys are hurting, and you know that's what they need to get right, then so be it. You know, it worked yesterday, so I'll take it.
But I got a different solution for it. If you're gonna alternate series with them coming out, make sure they ain't out at the same time, and let McCarry be the one to do both of them, because he plays both tackles anyway.
Yeah.
Don't put 77 in that damn game no more.
Yeah, that's what they were doing too. They would take it. Ronnie would be there, and then it would be Falele. Then they would keep Moses in, and they would put Makari in, and they would just kind of alternating who they took out, and they would keep one starter in.
The damn Falele is, bruh. The thing is with him in the game, it could be average Joe Smo blow to get back there and get to the quarterback and just create havoc on the whole team.
Yeah,
I can't one. I'm sorry, I can't, man. He too
he's
big.
Bad.
He too big. His feet too slow. That man is not a tackle. He's a guard. Yeah. If that.
They need to start putting him there.
He's a guard or a fullback. If that. One of the two. He's not a tackle. But I guess that's all we got. Him and Salah sitting over there, and might as well have Joe Sausage head.
You know, I'm not surprised they play. I mean, I'm not surprised that they're starting to play better. Like, I mean, they had a brutal schedule against some of the best, you know, defensive fronts starting out, right? Mm-hmm. Because the most of them are in our division. You got to play Myles Garrett. You got to play T.J. Watt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they face some tough defensive fronts. Even like the Colts. You know, they got Kwity Paye and, you know, some other guys up there. You know, they seen it all. So I think they're a little bit more battle tested now, and they're starting to figure their way now. So I expect a little bit more solid play.
Yeah, I'm laughing at Cam. Why we all the cheap Polynesian? Now you must mean on the offensive side, because we had one Polynesian that was a dog that I remember, and that's Haloti.
Yes,
Haloti was a certified dog.
Yeah,
but I think he meaning offensively. Just
Kimawatu was good for us.
Yeah, he was. Offensive line wise, I think they've gotten better, and like you said, we faced a lot of the top tier defensive linemen, but we still got 2.5, 3 more. Well, we got the Steelers again. They got both of their guys on the edge. We got the 49ers with Chase and Bosa. The Dolphins edge guys don't suck with what's our boy from Denver?
Chubb.
Oh, Bradley Chubb.
Chubb, and Phillips got hurt. So
They got Zach Seiler, who had a interception return for a touchdown tonight.
Oh, and the white dude with the long hair that scored a touchdown last week. Played that. I saw it on Hard Knocks. He replaced. He got a funny name.
I forget his name.
So they got three decent guys. So we got our hands full. Van Ginkel, that is appreciated. Van Ginkel. And the Jag front don't with Trayvon on one side and
Josh Allen.
Yeah, we got a gauntlet of pass rushers.
They nice. Don't get me wrong, but they're not Myles Garrett nice.
Oh no. Right.
Don't get me wrong. These guys are nice, but they
nobody close to Myles Garrett, but maybe Bosa.
Yeah.
But maybe Bosa.
Yeah.
We'll see. And again, Aaron Donald finished with no sacks, I think 1 pressure and 1 QB hit. I think the actual stat says 0-0-0, but that's a lie. Because there was one time he had Lamar slinging him around and Lamar ended up throwing the ball. So I don't that's a pressure in my book. I don't care what they talk about. Yeah. Lamar just happened to get rid of the ball. So let's go to O-line. I mean, not O-line, I'm sorry, receivers. Beckham with an 87.2. Zay with a 65.6. Nelson Aguilar with a 62.8. Rashad Bateman with a 61.3. Tylan Wallace with a 56 even. Let's see. Where's Likely? Likely is number 15 with a 56.6. And Kolar with a 45.5. So that's all the receivers and tight ends. Again, I'm gonna say I told you so far with Odell and after the bye week. He just got to do it 3-4 more times. I think this is why he's here. This stretch of games right here that we need him the most. He got to produce like he produced yesterday. The only thing I didn't like about it, he had 10 targets and only 4 catches. If he's gonna have 10 targets, he need to have 7 or 8 catches.
Yeah.
Bateman, the first ball he not running and is overthrown. The second ball is short, which ain't his fault. But I still think he can at least try to play a little defense on it or slow down, try to go up and get it, maybe.
Make an adjustment. Yeah.
Make an adjustment, right. But I don't really know what the deep ball non-connectivity is with Bateman. Because that first one where they threw it to him, like he was certified looking at something else.
Yeah. I understand why he
looked up and tried to turn it back on. So I don't know what that was.
And, just I think lack of reps with each other.
Could be. Because they don't really practice like talking about it.
Yeah. Odell, listen, this is why we need somebody like Odell on the team, right? Like the difference between him and Bateman is he's a veteran that knows how to do those subtle movements. I mean, the way he got open, hey, babe, if you're watching, I'm done with you. Okay, Malik. We'll pass the message on to you. The way he's just shaking defenders, it's just subtle movements to get open. And even like the one touchdown, he said it, he ran the wrong route, but he knew how to make the adjustment to make the catch. It's those little things that our younger wide receivers don't know how to do, but having somebody like him on the team makes all the difference. So
yeah, that Willie Mays catch, that's hard to do. Hard to be looking over one shoulder and then got to turn and refine the ball. That's hard to do. He made it look easy, but I'm telling you, that's tough. Being a center fielder, that is tough to do.
You gotta have the hips for that too.
You gotta have the hips, you gotta have the eyes, and you gotta have you can't run flat footed. You gotta be a toe runner where that way your eyes ain't bouncing when you run. But that thing hard to do, but he made it look easy. And then he got his hands this darn big anyway, so that helps too. You got some on receivers, Chris?
Yeah, man. The receivers, specifically Odell, he like you guys have been saying, like this is exactly what they brought him here for. Like they didn't bring him here for September, they didn't bring him here for October. They brought him here for these winter months. And it looks like he's hitting his stride right now. He looks like he got a little bit of that flexibility back that we saw with him, like playing a little bit looser now. Like he's comfortable being out there, being in this offense, catching the ball from Lamar. And then Zay, to have the drops that he had and then to come back and make those tough catches, because he had about 3 tough catches towards the end of the game.
Sure
and that just shows the kind of confidence that he has, because you see if a wide receiver drops 1 pass, they could get shaky. A wide receiver drops 2 passes, they get shaky. And him, he was just unflappable.
Yep.
And shout out to Lamar for coming back to him too, because we've seen Lamar go away from dudes who dropped the ball
and forget him.
Yep. And he was like, "No, I'm going back to my dude," and paid off big time. And that's why they drafted him in the first round, to make those kind of plays.
Yeah, Aguilar is like, forget his catches, forget anything that he did with the ball in his hand. And I don't know if y'all watched my video. For those that didn't watch it, the touchdown pass that Zay scored on, that play. They ran that same play early in the drive. So the little clip that you see people posting where Aguilar's in a huddle telling Lamar what he's going to do, they talking about it. They had ran that play early that drive. That's how he knew the safety was going to go with it. They ran the same exact play early in the drive. That's how he knew the safety was going to go with him. Ball snapped. He busted his butt getting across. Safety went with him. Zay came wide open. And I love the fact that they was listening, that you got that people, not the coordinator, not the quarterback, can come and say, "Hey, I see this." And the quarterback and the coordinator listen, and they go and execute.
Yep, and you see that in the broadcast where they're in the huddle, and you see Aguilar telling Lamar that, and then Lamar just listening, like, okay, and then very next play, boom.
Yep.
Another advantage of having good, solid veterans on the team.
Yeah,
right.
That's those little things right there. That means a lot to me for seeing it from a different point of view, because as a coordinator sitting up there and you got your guys, because they're on the field, they have a better, even though you maybe up high seeing looking down on it, they're on the field. They can see the movements and kind of tell where the guys are going and whatnot. For him to come back and say, to tell them that, not only because the play, I don't know. The good thing is, I don't know if the play was already called. I'm wondering if he said he told him what he saw, then they called the play again, or was the play already called? And then he was like, "Look, I'm gonna do this," and he's gonna go with me. I would love to know the sequence in which it happened, even though I probably won't never know. But either way, still they listened to him. It got to happen, and it ended up being a good situation.
Yeah. But
like you said, vets, man, vets. A rookie ain't gonna come in and speak his mind like that.
No.
It ain't like Aguilar, like the superstar. He's a vet, and he knew what he saw, and they trusted him, and they went and executed it. And that's crazy.
Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah. Xavier. They called it again. Okay. Either before or after Nelly said something. Because I know that in the first time they called it, the exact same thing happened. I think Lamar just didn't have time. I don't even think he threw it the first time. I think he might have threw it to the incomplete pass to the running back. I don't even think they threw it the first time. But it came back the second time, and it ended up being a touchdown. So,
yeah.
Running backs. Record 78.6. I love the role that they got him in. Love it. He did run another route that I wasn't happy about. but the role they got him in, I love what they got Ricard doing. Keaton Mitchell, 68.3. Justice 61.3 and Gus 52.5. Keaton, I think Keaton didn't get more burn because of pass pro, because they were like 2 or 3 plays in a row, but we were throwing it and he just did not handle his business pass pro wise. So that's why he probably only got 9 carries, because they had to take him out and put Gus in. And then Gus, as far as running the ball, to me, is falling off the map.
Yeah, he had like a 2 or 3 week stretch where he was a guy. Keaton Mitchell, he looked good. 6 yards of carry.
Mm-hmm.
That play before the Isaiah Likely touchdown, if he didn't fall down,
yes,
that's
Yeah.
I mean, he shot through that hole quick. I think he startled himself. right? And, and he fell down. And I mean, you see the view, you see the view behind the snap. He had all the space in the world, man.
The closest
that would've been-
defender was the safety on the other side of the field.
yeah, he wasn't going to catch that.
He would have sprayed them, boy.
Yeah. But yes, I agree, Coach. I think it's one of those things. Pass pro and him being rookie is going to limit his opportunities, but he can definitely make some plays.
Definitely. And if you put him in, the only thing is if you put him in, you kind of gonna have to use him as a check down or the high. So if they blitz or whatever, because he I don't think it's a not want to thing. I think it's a realizing who you got,
Yes.
and then having the bricks in your pocket to do it. Because he's a smaller guy, so I think he wants to do it and knows who to pick up. It's just a physical thing. Like he's just not big enough to pick up some of them guys, especially if they fool the O line and a D lineman is free. He ain't gonna pick up no D lineman.
He
Or
got to
the
watch
linebacker get a run and start.
He got to watch some Kyron Williams tape because Kyron Williams was on the other side of it, and Kyron's not a big dude, but he was handling his business when it came to pass pro for the most part. He did get beat once, but for the most part, he was handling himself, and I think he's strong enough to do it. I mean, you see it in his runs how physical he could be for a dude that's so small. So I think he could do it. It's just he's a rookie. You could be a 230 pounder and you still gonna see a rookie struggling. And when it comes to pass pro as a running back, so and I think we saw how the team feel, like how much they trust him in those situations, because at the end of the game it was Justice Hill that was taking the majority of those snaps.
Sure was. And I think it's because of them reps at pass pro. I wholeheartedly think it's because of them 2 or 3 plays in a row where he had them issues with pass pro. But I think he'll get it corrected. It's a part of him learning. Because again, this ain't week 14 for him. This week maybe like 7.
True.
Because he was hurt. It's like week 7 for him. So I deal with it, because you drop a no yard pass out there to him, and he could turn it into a 70-yard touchdown.
Right.
Because all them little check downs, if you off, he getting you 7 at least. And don't let him make somebody miss. It turn into anything then. I just like the fact that we got somebody that when he touched the ball, I sit up.
Absolutely.
Once he get tackled in, I sit back, because anything can happen when he touched the ball. We hadn't had that in a minute, even with JK.
And with him in the backfield, it makes the defense think a little bit harder. Like, well, what's this going to be? Because to give to him, we definitely have to focus on him, because he could break one. Is it going to be a check down? It's not necessarily a pat or a run when he's in there.
That's probably a good point too, right here with the pass pro. Probably helped him, led to him being undrafted. Now, somebody in the watch party said, why they don't play Gus and Keaton at the same time? As soon as he typed it and I read it, they were in the game at the same time, and they kind of used Gus as a fullback on outside zone. Now, why the fact we ain't running outside zone as a staple from pistol or under center, it's still confusing me, because every time we did it, we got 4, 5, 6 yards. Every time we did it, we got 4, 5, 6 yards. But I didn't see a fake off of it. I didn't see some kind of boot off of it. And then we ran it out of one formation early in the game with the same motion. Later in the game, ran the same play. It was you, Brandon. That'd been a perfect time to do something off of it. We just lined up and ran the exact same thing. So when the motion came, because what they started out with Gus in the backfield, Keaton was in the slot. I said, they finna run stretch again. As soon as I said it, motion Keaton back in the backfield and ran stretch again. I'm like, if I know this, I know the people that watch film all week know it, or on the field. Come on. But we just stretch need to be in there some kind of way, because it don't have to be blocked right. Soon as one of them defenders overplay it and think they getting the jump on somebody, and we get a back that can stick his foot in the ground like Mitchell, like Hill, they out the gate.
Yeah.
And I think you can counter that too, and really screw up a defense if you get that boot action with Lamar. Because you start playing those games where they got to worry about giving Keaton the crease, But then you forget about Lamar. That puts the defense in a major bind.
Yep. He had one play where I felt like he should have gave the ball to Keaton, and Keaton probably would have scored on it. It was the inside zone that Lamar kept, and the guy he kept it, and the guy was just sitting there looking at him. He didn't even go for the fake to the running back. He just looking at Lamar like, "What you gonna do, bro?"
Yeah.
Lamar still ended up shaking him for like a yard or two, but he definitely should have handed that ball off and let Keaton see what he can get, because, like, again, the O-line did a decent job of blocking. They did a decent job.
Yeah.
What else we got left? Anybody else on running backs before we go to Lamar?
No, I mean, we about to talk to Lamar. He was a leading rusher again. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that. But I don't remember call runs. I think they were all pretty much all scrambles.
Yeah, I think so.
I know they had a power read that Keaton took the ball from him. Late in the game. I didn't like that call, but Keaton took that ball from him.
He made sure he snatched that one.
But I don't remember call runs. I can't remember. He had 11 carries. So I'll just say he had 2. I still don't remember. Let's say he had 2. But I can deal with the fact that those are scrambles. I just don't like if it would have been 9 call runs, and I think that would have been a problem.
Yeah, the one where he shoot like 5 people for that first down. That right there told me he still got it.
Yep.
Just people are saying he's slowing down. He might slow down a little bit, maybe because he's a little bit heavier. He's going into his man body, but he's still Lamar.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. He great balance, great, and he turning on that speed if he need to. But he ain't had to outrun nobody because he ain't running as much.
No.
So he's just doing enough to not let you get a good lick on him and get down. He's doing a good job, a better job of protecting himself. A better job.
Yeah.
And that play that Jose talking about, it was just like, I don't think there's anybody on this earth that could make that play.
Nope.
You could be as fast as you want, you could be as athletic as you want, but the instinct that he has, it's like a cat out there. Like it was just amazing. Like when I watched that play, I was like, nobody on earth can do that, make that play.
Only person that probably could be close to doing something like that is Mini-Me in Arizona.
Oh yeah, but that's because he just goes underground like a golfer.
He's already low to the ground. It's hard to reach down and get him.
It just disappeared.
Little badass baby.
So have you seen them pictures where like the people that make themselves real small with a big old head?
Yeah,
that's Kyler's life-size picture.
That's what reminds me of.
With a big, he got a little body, a big old head, and a big old right arm. Because Kyler can sling that thing.
He can.
But as far as Lamar, I think he had 2 bad plays. Other than that, I think he played extremely well. That drive that the Bateman touchdown was on, that they ran the same play, not Bateman, Flowers, where they ran the same play twice. Yeah. They threw a fade ball to Odell that I didn't like. Like it was like I feel like we got greedy and just threw one up just to see if he can go get it.
Oh, where it looked like it was about to be a pick.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm glad it was pulled out of bounds because the dude had Odell like straight covered. And then the play where I felt like he should have handed the ball off to Keaton Mitchell, and he didn't. The play I was talking about earlier, where the defensive end was just like he didn't go with the fake or anything. He took his one step down, stayed his shoulder square, and looked at Lamar like, "What you gonna do?" And Lamar poured it anyway. So I think there was the only 2 plays where he didn't do what and obviously he probably missed some throws or whatnot, but that comes with anybody. But the way that ball was coming off his hand,
yeah,
that joker was throwing rockets. He threw a pass to Odell over the middle on that drive, and I barely even saw it. Like watching it full speed, you barely even see the ball. You see him rear back, and next thing you know, you see Odell diving. You don't even see the path of the ball go across the screen because he was throwing rockets out there with a wet ball.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. This is probably the best game Lamar's ever had in the rain because we know he has a history of struggling in the rain. Well, in the NFL, we saw him light it up in college in the rain one time, but in the NFL he struggled. But man, yesterday he was on point. Like obviously he had some misses, but that's going to be with any quarterback. You watch the NFL all day, every day. You're gonna see Mahomes miss throws. You're gonna see Josh Allen. You're gonna see him miss a lot of throws. But any top tier QB, you're gonna see them miss some throws. But man, especially in crunch time, when they needed him, and that's exactly what I wanted to see. Just not just from Lamar, but from this team. I wanted to see them in crunch time with their backs against the wall. And
didn't run it one time. I mean, he scrambled, but there was not one run called.
Yep, and they just kept going with it. And he came through in the clutch. So man, major props to Lamar, because that's a big boy drive right there. Those are the drives that you're gonna need in the playoffs at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's one of the drives historically as a Ravens fan. Not just during this Lamar reign. Historically, when it comes down to that last drive, we need a touchdown. Ravens have like, oh man, I don't know about this. If you remember the Kyle Bowler days, you just chalked it up as an L.
You went on ahead and went to the parking lot.
Yeah, Flacco, it was hit or miss. Flacco, he was exciting in that way. Like, I don't know, maybe we'll get it, maybe we don't. He surprised you, but there's a little bit more confidence, a lot more confidence with Lamar back there that we can drive down the field and get that touchdown.
Yeah, I'm happy with what he did and how he played. Again, he had that one. I think before the bye week, the game that wasn't so hot, but for the past 2 months, if it's not for what Purdy and what Dak doing, Lamar's probably the front runner.
Yeah.
If it's not for because them two guys putting up crazy numbers, but if it's not for their passing numbers for what Lamar's doing on the ground and throwing the ball, he would be the front runner. But he's still in the conversation, and we got a month left, so we'll see what happens. And I don't really even care if he win MVP. I just want to win games.
Yeah, he already got that, man. We need Super Bowl MVP for him.
Yep, definitely. He finished with what 316 or something like that.
316, 24 for 43, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick.
That's another point. Remember we talked. Somebody mentioned him missing. I think you mentioned it, Jose, about him missing a few balls, or Chris, one of y'all paused. But in the past, the misses would have been amplified because we ain't throw the ball but 19 times.
Right.
Right now, we don't give a crap about the misses because he threw it. How many times you said?
43.
Yeah, we don't give a crap about the misses.
Nope.
Because he had more opportunity to go out there and do it. Mm-hmm. But in the past, on the misses we'd have been. I personally probably would have been complaining and fussing and whatnot because he only threw the ball 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
But when you throw it that many times and you get the opportunity to do it, and then we hit some vertical balls too, who gives a crap?
Yeah, nobody's talking about it. Exactly.
It is what it is. Let's see. What did I miss? Punt return, special teams. How you feel about special teams? So specifically, Mr. Wallace Sr., specifically the last play of the game. Specifically. No, we don't care about none of the other stuff. Specifically, what were your thoughts and your emotions on the last play of the game?
Oh man, I'm still fatigued coming down from that adrenaline dump. But no man, it was great. He had that big call on the offsides earlier in the game, and for him to come in and answer like that and be able to run it back, that wasn't just some easy run back either. He had to make some dudes miss, and he had he got the stumble, kept it going up the sideline. So major props to him, man. A lot of people know I was a big fan of his when he was coming out of OK State, and it's been a rough go for him in the NFL. Not many opportunities, but also, yesterday to come in the rain after you probably not having one of your best games, because right now he's in that special teams ace kind of role. So, for him to come out and get that win, that this is one of those it's going to be, kind of like the Will Hill, where they blocked the punt and he ran it back. It's like it had those kind of vibes, and it'll go into that kind of regular season Hall of Fame game where it's like, damn, that game was crazy. So, major props to him.
Yeah, it's a big win, because when you can play not very well and still find ways to win the games. That's what good teams do. Because we are normally, well, I can say normally, we're a lot of times we're on the back end of stuff going wrong in the fourth quarter and late in the games. But we had a clutch drive from the offense, gave it up by the defense, then had a good a 3 and out in overtime, and ran the punt back.
Hey, Chris, you mentioned his offsides earlier in the game. Speaking of offsides, that Kansas City game. How do y'all feel about that? Kadarius, I mean, listen. Kadarius Toney is guilty. He was 2 yards offsides.
He can't get out his own way.
But I do understand the frustration because usually the ref will tell you to move back. All right. Now he didn't check with the ref right before the run back. I've called it. She said, "Oh."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
She wild. She wild, X. She wild.
Yeah. Facts. But how'd y'all feel about that? Like, I mean,
great play design, but Kadarius Toney won't be in the league too much longer.
He can't get out of his own way. Do you share their frustration? Like, do you put that on the refs for not telling them to get back?
No. You gotta ask.
Me neither.
You have to ask.
You gotta point down there and check every time.
Yes.
They get so complacent in the NFL, and him, I ain't no telling where his mind was at. But you got to look down that line and point, and you either hold your arm forward to say I'm on, or hold it back to say I'm off. But you got to point, and he gonna either head nod you, tell you good or something. He gonna tell you something. That's basic football.
Yeah, yes. That's peewee stuff.
Right.
You know that, and I don't understand what the big controversy is. It's like the ref didn't tell me that I was doing something illegal. Like, what do you mean? You're supposed to know that. You know where you have to line up. You see the line of scrimmage. You see where the ball is.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you check with the referee if you're not sure. And he didn't do any of that. So I don't understand what the big hoopla is about.
Yeah, I ain't see the issue either. Like, I mean,
they trying to make the issue is, and I saw somebody interviewed a ref. They said this year that has been called 11 times, but in the past it's normally ignored or you just get a warning.
Yeah,
so the fact that the referees or the NFL are actually enforcing their rules is not an excuse for you to bitch and complain.
Right, because it's not just happening to you; it's happening across the board. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at Pat Mahomes' stats right now: 25 43, 271 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He didn't have a great day.
Right.
That led to the frustration, and of course, it being Kadarius Toney. Yeah, you're right, Coach. He ain't helping his case, man. Right. You can't always be the reason why you're losing down the stretch.
For 2 different teams.
Yeah.
So, but I will say at the end of that game, I thought Mahomes was trying to go off on a coach. I was like, he tripping.
That's what I thought too. I was like, man, who's he yelling at?
Yeah, I thought it was a coach, but they said it was a referee. I was like, man, Pat, you tripping, cuz.
You know, I was about to be like, man, he never yelled Eric Bieniemy that way.
What? Bieniemy stomped him out. That's what would have happened. Coming out all that stuff. He'd had to get Daddy Pat down there to get Bieniemy off of him.
Man, the Bills needed that win too. That pretty much eliminated them. They didn't get that win. I mean, it's still an uphill battle for them, but
it's wide open for us. We just got to take advantage.
Yeah,
we got to take advantage. We got, and this is the last question, and we'll wrap this thing kind of up. We got 4 games left. What are y'all predictions for these 4 games? In the chat box too, put your record predictions for these last 4 games. And the last 4 games are Jacksonville Saturday night.
Then San
Francisco Christmas night. That's a Monday night. Dolphins, then the Steelers.
So I had us losing our last 2 games only because I felt like those won't be as important by then.
Okay.
I think we'll have the number 2 or 3 seed locked up. I think we'll have the division locked up. And we won't need them as much. Let the Dolphins have the 1 seed. I don't care. Let them have the 1 seed. we'll take the 2 seed and play whoever or the 3 seed.
Mhm.
Honestly, I don't really care who we play.
Right, me neither.
I don't care who we play. I think we could beat any of these teams.
I just don't want that bye.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just don't want the bye week. That's it.
Yeah. So I say 3-1. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, that's what I say. I say 3-1. I'm not a. I know the Dolphins are having a great season and all of that, but you got to show me in crunch time. Like,
they still ain't beating nobody over 500 yet.
You remember Alex Rodriguez, the amazing seasons he would have, and then the postseason would come and he would just be garbage.
Yeah, because he was hitting like everybody, all the teams that was playing their minor leaguers, he was raking. Got into the postseason and faced real pitching, disappeared. But that was this one dude that was just steady at it, 275 all year long, hit here, hit there, 2-3 hits a night. But then come October, you couldn't get that son run out. Exactly. He played shortstop.
Yeah,
it's a whole different beast when it comes. It's colder, it's a little bit more physical. It's grimier, and you got to show me that you can win in that kind of element first.
Yeah, and I love the way our defense play because our defense play for that type of stuff.
Yep, and so the team I have us losing to, possibly because we see how the Ravens get up for these games. But if I had to predict one, I would say the Niners. But even then,
that's gonna be a dogfight.
Sure. That's gonna be a crazy game.
That's gonna
be a crazy one, especially if the Ravens are healthy, 100% healthy with Kyle Hamilton back.
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah. That's a game they're gonna want to make a statement in. I can feel that. I mean, both teams are gonna want to, but and you look at them, that they look evenly matched. And somebody say, hey, 49ers got the advantage, but they ain't got no Lamar Jackson over there.
Right.
They got Brock Purdy, and our defense could definitely take advantage of that.
Most definitely. And we do enough stuff offensively to where, you're gonna get some negative plays on us, but we can hit back now.
Yeah,
we can hit back.
So I'm looking at the score. Miami is tied up with the Titans right now.
Yeah, I saw Jeremiah just said that. So we'll see what they might not want the first seed either. they might be wanting to just tuck it in and not get their rest. But
the thing with them is,
did Tyreek come back?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay,
I'm not sure how bad it is. But the thing with I hope he's not hurt, man. I want to see if he can break the record. The thing with them is they're explosive. They can put up a lot of points, but you watch them play, they make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, they make a ton of mistakes.
Yeah. So they can definitely, that's why they have trouble playing the better teams, because they're not as disciplined.
But and that's all I got. Yeah. Anybody else you want to one point to wrap it up?
No, that's all I had. That's all I had.
But let them know where they can find you and B. Hey, first off, B, I don't know if you're listening or not, you catching up on your sleep or whatnot, but I ain't seen no pictures yet.
Yes, he's got posted pictures.
I ain't seen no pictures yet.
Donation.
Appreciate your money
How
making.
do y'all feel about Brock Purdy? The numbers say he elite, but when I watch him, I just don't see it.
He's not elite.
He's not elite. He has the best running back in the league. He has a top 5 athlete on his team in the league, because Debo is take that back. He has a top 5 football player, because that's what Debo is. Debo's a football player. He probably has the best left tackle in the league.
Yes.
Got the second, and he might be the first best tight end now, because Kelsey kind of falling off a little bit. Might have the best tight end in the league. And Ayuk ain't no slouch either.
At all. Yeah. And a ton of help on defense.
Yep. Boatload of help on this. His supporting cast is, like Malik just said, elite on like offensively and defensively.
And if any one of those players on offense gets hurt, he comes all the way back down to earth. All right.
Seattle was beating them yesterday.
Huh?
Seattle was beating them yesterday.
Yeah.
For like a half.
Yeah.
So
like he needs
I ain't scared of him. He is their weak link to me. And I know he putting up a bunch of numbers because he got all day to throw the ball, and like he can throw 3 screens, and that's 200 yards pass.
Yeah.
So he is not elite to me, but he's doing a good job of managing his team.
Mm-hmm. Coach, you a hater? What?
We know who his real team is now. we know who his real team is now. But Jose, let them know where they find you and B at.
Yes, me and B are the Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live show every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. B will be back. He will be back. We had some fill-ins. Shout out to Hendo. Shout out to Yolanda B. Shout out to Country Boy from One Mic Podcast for coming through and filling in last week. He's also a Panthers fan. Had a lot of fun. Also, you can find our overtime show, which happens right after the main show, on patreon.com/LBHT show. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT show. And OTR Mike, who's not here, he does a show with myself and Brodney, Ring Kings podcast. Okay. Mikey would tell you it's only the best boxing podcast out there. B would tell you do not research that. Okay. But
just take our word for it.
Yeah, take our word for it. We have to do a live. We have to do a stream or a video about the Devin Haney fight over the weekend. We're gonna give our reactions to that. So stay tuned for that. Also, let me shout out Mikey's podcast, Open Mic with OTR Mike. Okay, it's where the mic is open for any discussion, no matter who it is, where it is, or what it is. He's got some episodes coming out here real soon, so make sure you subscribe over there.
And he follow him on Twitter too, because he'll follow you back unless you on that
on that weird stuff.
On that weird stuff. Chris, so word on the street is there's a new member of the Deep Cover podcast. Word on the street. There's a new member that has made herself a member of the Deep Cover podcast. That's word on the street.
That's right.
Can you confirm or deny that?
She was using your microphone.
Yeah. I was confused for a second. Yeah, my daughter, man. She's a trip. She's a trip, man. But she's always over here podcasting, as she says. So one day I'm gonna set up her own little show.
Right.
Yeah, she put me in my place, as she usually does.
Smart. But they smarter than we were at that age.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They love Lamar and they love Patrick Queen because of the last name, Queen.
Oh, hey, great daughters. Great daughters. Great. But what y'all got Deep Cover? Y'all got something coming up?
Yeah, so this week we're gonna put something out. Should be available on Thursday. We're gonna be recording on Wednesday. Should be out Thursday. And also today, earlier, I dropped a article, a Prospect Watch article on the 2024 offensive tackle class. So you could check that out on my Twitter at Chris Just Joking. It's my pinned tweet, or you could go to the Deep Cover blog and it'll be there. So yeah, just check that out.
Appreciate you, T. Thank you for joining in. Appreciate the donation. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And thank you for joining in while being at the game. Shout out to you and the chef. Because you and Chef, y'all always join in and at least listen while y'all at the game. So
appreciate that.
I appreciate y'all for doing that. And it's trust me. Thank you. That's all I can say. Thank you for going to the game and still listening to what I have to say and my foolishness on Sundays. I appreciate it. As far as me, y'all here, I appreciate it. If you have not hit the like button, please do so. Don't forget about the second channel, More Sip the Tally, where it's for the streets, and I got a lot of content going over there. When the playoffs do roll around, every playoff game will get some kind of content, unless it's the Ravens on that channel. Like obviously the Ravens content will be here, but every playoff game will get some kind of content over there. So if you have not subscribed to More Sip the Tally, please go over there and do so. I would appreciate that. I don't want to leave Hendo out. Hendo's a little under the weather. Hendo was the Rogue Pod, and so this is his old logo, but everything is still the Rogue Pod. So make sure you check him out. He does a live show on Sunday. Normally it's Sundays at 8. That's why I knew he wasn't feeling too, because 8 o'clock came and I ain't getting no alert, so I knew something was going on. But he had that show at 8. I'm pretty sure once he gets back on his feet, he'll come back and do a reaction to the game and get you guys up to date, with his thoughts and whatnot. And I know myself included, I'm interested to hear what he got to say about Harbaugh. I was excited to hear what Chris had to say. And I was excited to hear what Hendo had to say about Harbaugh. But we'll get that out of Hendo, soon. So get well soon, Hendo. B, look forward to seeing you back in the fold this week. And Mike, I hope you got that dub. I know you're listening. We'll catch you on the flip side also. So that's all I got for everybody, man. Peace and love to everybody, and hit that like button. And if you want to, no, I know if you want to do so, grab a link, share it on Twitter, tell them the best podcast on Monday nights, even with Monday night games going on. Y'all was in the right place. Appreciate
Thanks.
y'all. Peace and love.
Peace.
Peace.